down to the ground.
What's up, guys? So, there's been a lot going on. There's been a lot going on, okay? And it's mainly having to do with our girl, Tyla. Okay, did y'all see what happened at the Met Gala? Yes, I know you saw it, because everyone's literally talking about it. Everyone is literally talking about it. So, basically, Tyla and Rihanna, of course, we're both at the Met Gala. Now, this is, I believe, Tyla's second year at the Met Gala. She absolutely slayed her first year with the sand dress. And this year, she kind of went more on brand, sparkly, giving sea, one, I don't know, island, I don't know. It was cute. I don't really know what the theme was. I'm gonna have to look up what the theme was for her outfit, but anywho, the theme of the Met Gala was Fashion is Art, and it was hosted by the Queen, Beyonce. We have not talked about Beyonce yet on this channel. Just know when Act 3 drops, this channel will turn into a Beyonce stan account. So if you don't like Beyonce, you are free to click off of this video right now. Are the Beyonce haters gone? Are they gone? Okay, good. Okay, good. So Beyonce hosted. Beyonce was actually gracious enough to invite me to the Met Gala. It was amazing. My first Met. So I'm just so grateful. I will insert my look here. I just really took the fashion is art thing seriously. So I'm very happy to have been invited. There was a lot of really cool stuff that happened inside, but I can't tell you guys about that. How can I? No. But anywho, yes, there's a big controversy because Tyla basically made a video explaining what her last couple of interactions with Rihanna have been. Okay? Now, mind you, since Tyla came onto the scene, every single time she is asked, who is your favorite artist? Rihanna is at the top of her list. Now, sometimes she'll name other people because she'll be feeling certain things at one time or the other. But for the most part, a constant for her is Rihanna. And honestly, there's a lot of people who are inspired by Rihanna. Rihanna is a legend. She's an icon. She ran the 2000s and the 2010s as well. So, she really dominated, and she did an amazing job at reinventing herself and reinventing her sound over the course of her entire career. But as of late, Rihanna hasn't really been active in the musical space. She's dropped a couple things for some soundtracks, but she hasn't been giving people, I believe it's R9, or the album that will follow Anti, which was her last album. So, but Tyla was giving her account as to her last couple of interactions with Rihanna, her favorite artist in the world. The first interaction, she said in her video, which I'll insert here.
So I met her last year, and she was cool. I met her, but I think she was occupied because she was like, I went up to her, I was like, oh, hey, and she was like, hey, my baby dad is calling me, and then she left, and I was like, oh, maybe she was busy. So I don't know, I felt awkward. What the heck, I felt awkward. I don't know how to say hi. If I feel like someone's busy, it's like, So this time, I was waiting for my car, and she was right there, and I was, yeah. So this time, yeah, I don't want to go up because I felt like she was busy, you know what I mean? And the last time she was busy. So I want to, like, when we do speak, if we do end up speaking ever, I want it to be like calm, so we both can just, vibe and talk nicely.
So basically, she said in her video that the first time she met her, Rihanna was like, oh, hey girl, nice to meet you. My man is calling me. I have to go. And any of us grown folk, we know when we don't really want to be around somebody, we're going to make an excuse to go ahead and dip out. We know how to be cordial, but we're going to make an excuse to go ahead and dip out. So she felt the shade the first time she met her, but she's like, I'm going to keep my hopes up. I'm not going to get too, jaded. Maybe next time it'll be better. But this time there's literally video. Rihanna's standing right here. Tyla is in the cut over here. It's actually pretty hilarious and really, really awkward. Granted that the industry has essentially been poising Tyla to be the next Rihanna. And while it's not a direct alignment, they do have completely different sounds. They do have different origin stories. Rihanna is from the islands and Tyla is from the continent, of Africa. But they are both women who are from different countries than the United States, who had dreams of crossing over and being a part of this big, beautiful American music industry. Rightfully so. Rihanna laid the blueprint for that. And Tyla just wants to have a place in that. And she also wants to be endorsed by her favorite artist. Who wouldn't? It seems as though, and it has seemed as though for the last couple of years, the rumblings have been that Rihanna don't really fuck with her. But Rihanna does seem to fuck with Miss Ira Star. That's fine, because Ira is fab. But it seems as though there are some industry politics at play. I can definitely see industry people telling Rihanna, you're washed up. You're finished. We have Tyla now. And she's like, bitch, I'm Rihanna, bitch. No one's gonna replace me. And she's right. But that's the gag. No one can replace her. Those industry men don't know what they're talking about. They told Beyonce she didn't have no hits on her first album. And she had multiple hits on that album. They told Sierra that Promise wasn't a hit. They don't know what they're talking about. The people know what we're talking about. But I can see if the industry is using Tyla to kind of agitate Rihanna, I could see her not liking Tyla, not necessarily just because not having anything to do with Tyla as a person, but more so what Tyla represents, because Rihanna has always been notoriously a girl's girl. She's been notoriously complimentary when she meets people. Very nice, very sweet. So it is very strange for her to meet someone like Tyla, who is kind of coming up in the same vein of the music industry as she did, and she pay her complete dust. And, I want to be politically correct in this dialogue and in this conversation, because you cannot speak disparagingly upon Rihanna and expect no backlash. And I don't desire to speak disparagingly upon Rihanna, but I did not like how this looks, because it just looks like a young girl who is 5 feet from her favorite artist in the world and has accomplished so much to get to the point of even being able to be in the same room as her. Now, granted, Tyla has been fast-tracked. Tyla had one song and went straight to the Grammys. Boom, Grammy. Bam, bam. And I think Ira was there the same year in the same category and didn't win. So, but only one person can win. And Water was a big crossover hit. I think that we're talking about the American market here. And Ira is big and she has an amazing sound where she's from. But Tyla's song just hit differently here in the States. And, that's why she seems to be more palatable and marketable nationwide than perhaps our Ira may be. And it's not because Ira doesn't have the talent or the songs, but, Americans' palate is not very sophisticated. We kind of only go with what we're used to. But she was fast tracked. She went straight to the Grammys, went straight to the Met Gala, which is huge. There's a lot of artists who have been in this industry for decades and don't get invited to the Met Gala. But, you know, it's not always about how you finish. Sometimes it's about how you start. And I know that that's backwards, but she started strong, you know, and everyone doesn't start strong. Everyone doesn't start as a smash. A lot of people build their way up, but she's just an it girl. She just has it. And what is most astonishing to me is how much people hate her. People hate Tyla, okay? And of course, I'm not speaking to the majority because there's still a lot of people who really love her and really still fuck with her heavy. But man, the comment section on the Shade Room, oh, that because Rihanna can sense energy. Rihanna knew she wants shit. Rihanna, that's why she didn't talk to her. It's like, what? Like, Tyla's energy is literally so fun, bubbly, quirky, cute, funny, sassy, sexy. Like, she is literally only gives good vibes. Like, what is y'all's problem? I can only deduce that you're hating. If somebody dislikes Tyla for no reason, I can only deduce that you're a hater. Now, at first glance, does it seem like Rihanna is a hater? Yes. Seems like she's hating on the new young girl coming up. We've seen it before with Nicki and Cardi. We saw it with Mariah and Ariana. The girls don't like the idea that they can potentially be replaced with the next version of themselves. However, I do not think, especially because of Rihanna's track record, that she's simply hating. I think it's some white men around a boardroom table who are kind of pulling the strings. And I feel like she thinks that Ira should have what Tyla has. Ira should be where Tyla is. And that's the facts. Okay? Now, she could come out and say otherwise, but she kind of did come out and say otherwise because she posted a Met Gala recap with Ira's song. Who's that girl? Basically, her saying Ira is that girl, Tyla is not that girl. Get her out of here, bring my girl in. Wow. Well, does Rihanna hate Tyla? I don't know. It seems like it though. She's done nothing to dispel that. I think if you like someone, you would talk to them. But I know what it is when you're ignoring someone purposely. And that was what it seemed like. I'm ignoring you on purpose. I'm humbling you. I'm not going to give you this final endorsement. I don't see why she would care because it really seems like she's over it. Like, and Azealia Banks had an amazing assessment of this situation. Basically talking about how, well, I'll play the clip here.
Azealia Banks says, sorry, Tyla is sickening. I would actually be livid and uncontrollably jealous if I was Rihanna and attached to Jay-Z, while Tyla just runs around all skinny and scantily clad, looking fresh, light, and uncorrupted by dirty Brooklyn dick. Laughing my fucking ass off. No shade, Jay-Z energy is so heavy on the girls. A Twitter user asked, do you think Rihanna doesn't like Tyla? Azealia Banks says, no, I think she likes her, but she wasn't the right way to properly little sister, so she had to play it off like she didn't see her. The picture of them together would have done way too much for Tyla's bottom line, and one thing Rihanna learned from Jay-Z is no free money. But she caught the signal, and she'll have a huge comeback, and Tyla will be like the Maya of her generation. I still love Tyla though. Jay-Z isn't finished yet. Another Twitter user chimes in, I think Reed would have been threatened if Tyla debuted it in like 2016, but that's simply not the case. A pop legend has no reason to be intimidated by her. Azealia Banks responds, I think one thing I really admire about Tyla is how healthy and fun her relationship with art and commerce is. It doesn't seem like she has some gross curmudgeon of a man manipulating her mind, body, and heart. She seems to have generally positive and effective major level team around her, which gives her a lightness you haven't seen in any female artist over the past 20 years. You can see the overbearing effect of Dr. Luke on Doja, Kim, and Kesha. You see the darkness Jay-Z brings all over Rihanna, B, and Megan. You can see Dave Holmes on Me, David Bianchi on Charlie. You can see the merry-go-round of disappointments from all these hip-hop dudes on Nicki. I don't know, I could be wrong and totally off, but I like how light and airy Tyla seems. In a now deleted tweet, a Twitter user suggests Tyla would be better off if she came back claiming fully black instead of the colored, like in her original country. Azealia Banks says, no, she doesn't. She's a colored person. She absolutely should not capitulate to Black America's arbitrary demands for identifying within a culture that regularly tears its women down violently. No one in South Africa, colored or black, call one another Igor, colloquially. Why the fuck would she want to be part of anyone else's trauma? She's like a Guyanese person. She's fucking colored. Get over it. Besides, she has broader global appeal remaining representative of the South African culture she's from. South Africa is a Western country, babe.
She was basically talking about how within the industry, a lot of our favorite artists do have this dark cloud around them, which happens to be these men in positions of power in the music industry that essentially hover over these women energetically, whether that be with expectations or with manipulation, whatever the case may be. We know is well documented throughout the history of the music industry. Not only women, but men get played, exploited, taken advantage of, robbed, just everything under the sun. And Rihanna is no exception. And if she had an 8-album contract, well, she's fulfilled it, right? Now, us in the music industry, we know a contract with a bunch of albums is a bad deal because it's very rare that somebody can make it all the way through and keep up their sales and maintain sales for that many albums. However, I would think that Rihanna was done with the industry, did not want to do that. And if anyone has the right to want to be done and be able to be done, it's her. She created Fenty Beauty, which was a huge success. Probably will be continue to be a success forever. Same with Savage Fenty. She created a legacy brand. She has stores nationwide that are doing well with her brand. Her brand has done exceptionally well. So I don't even think that she needs what Tyla is trying to have. So that is what leads me to believe that she just feels like Ira should be where Tyla is. And maybe she feels like Tyla is getting fast-tracked as her replacement. And, you know, Tyla does have that same visual type of appeal. She's petite, she's skinny, she's beautiful, she's effortless, she's gorgeous, she is carefree, you know, and I think that levity and that lightness can inspire envy in some. So what I want to say to you, Tyla, my girl, which you're already doing, you're doing a great job at moving on, not letting this bother you. I've been watching her social media, you know, hoping that she's, you know, keeping her spirits up. Because you know what they say, don't meet your heroes. They say don't meet your heroes because when you do so, you may have a less than satisfactory experience. And that can be heartbreaking. I can only imagine if I met Beyonce and she paid me dust and she didn't want to talk to me, I would feel really sad. Now, she probably wouldn't do that to me because I'm not a direct threat to her in any way. However, I hate that Tyla had to have this experience and then subsequently be bashed and dragged throughout the internet for talking about it. Now, initially when I watched the video, I just knew that people were going to have a visceral reaction to what she said, misunderstand her on purpose, and drag her through the mud. And that's exactly what they did. So I don't like that. But at the same time, she was just expressing the truth. If she had lied in there, and or if she had said anything bad about Rihanna, then perhaps some of y'all's comments would be warranted. But she didn't. She didn't tell any lies. And she wasn't negative. She really actually left it open for a future meeting. She's like, I hope that we can meet and that it can be a vibe and that we can just enjoy each other's company. So I do hope that she gets that moment, but I do also think that she should be cognizant of the energies that are approaching her concerning that particular thing. Some people can't like you. Perhaps you'll have to take that as a compliment. It's challenging. You can be nice, you can be kind, you can be fun, you can be articulate, you can look good, smell good, all that, and people will still hate your fucking guts. They'll hate you. Not just as it pertains to Rihanna, but just as it pertains to anyone who gives you that energy where it's not like an immediate good vibe and immediate love. That's why I love what Sarah and Tyla have together. The new school, that love that they share. I love seeing that. So yeah, Tyla, keep people around you that fuck with you off the bat, who like you and who love you off the bat, who do not make you feel like you're less than, like you need to shrink yourself to fit into any box that they would like to put you in. Don't allow people who are threatened by your light to dim it. And never dim your light for anybody. I love you, girl. And the Tigers, we love you too. All right, peace.